Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday stream. This is the Minnesota Rokkr High School Call of Duty League presented by MNVL. My name is Thunder McFadden, and I am joined, as usual, by my man, Mr. Skeptor. What's up, boss? How are you?
Not much, Thunder. Excited for some Call of Duty Tuesday night action. Can't wait to get into it, man.
So
Looking forward
excited.
to it.
So excited. We have the matchup tonight is going to be Inver Grove going up against Foley CoD Silver. Now, this is a very, very similar matchup to what we saw week one, okay, in Inver Grove when they took on Foley CoD Blue. Now, that matchup really trended the way of Inver Grove. They just seemed like they were always constantly kind of a step ahead. And it seemed like their comms were really, really on point. You know, after that game, we talked to Liban, and he talked about, yes, their comms being really, really effective in that type of thing. What were some things you remember from that game? And then what we're going to see today there?
Well, actually, I remember Liban talking about how there was a lot of room for improvement, honestly. I remember Liban speaking to us and saying that there was a lot of over communication going on and not a lot of, patience in letting a guy finish his comms or finish the call outs and et cetera. I mean, obviously it's one thing to have great communication as a team, but when you're talking over each other, that can end up being, a nuisance and causing distractions. So not the area that you want to head in terms of communication. But overall, I was very impressed with what we saw at Inver Grove in week one. I mean, a great way to kick off the season and a really good look for a team breaking out onto the scene and, I mean, making some noise early on. So I'm expecting big things from Inver Grove here tonight, coming in at 2-0 too. So didn't see them play last week, but obviously got the job done and, have that 100% win rate right now. We'll see if they can keep it alive tonight against Foley CoD Silver.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, at that undefeated stage, we're still early in the season, right? But they showed up. They showed up big week one. And no, we did not stream it this last week. But man, I mean, based on what we saw week one, it was really, really effective play. You mentioned the comms, right? You know, comms in all of esports is such a balance of the players that you're with, right? Who is taking charge? Who's taking the lead? Are there people fighting for the lead in those comms? All of that type of thing. You know, it can almost be a detriment sometimes to some teams the way that their comms go, right? It really seems like Inver Grove, the way that they play, and then obviously, as you mentioned, the interview with Liban afterwards, right? Looking inward and not saying, okay, we did great, we're fine, we're good. Always looking inward and looking to see what they can do. You know, that was the best part about it. And you made the point about it. These teams, the best teams are the ones that say, okay, this is not good enough. You know, okay, sure, maybe we 3-0'd somebody. Maybe we really styled on somebody, but we don't care because there's another game to play. There's tournaments to be won, right? You know, this is huge. This is huge for these students. So super, super exciting stuff. I am excited to see what Foley CoD Silver has to bring as opposed to what we saw from Foley CoD Blue, how they respond to what Inver Grove had as a really, really, I thought, aggressive outing in that stream that we did first. So super exciting stuff. We want to thank Rokkr for sponsoring this league. So exciting to be able to offer this to the students, the Minnesota Rokkr High School Call of Duty League. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. We're starting off today. Our hard point is Moscow. We just got this in. Then we're doing Search and Destroy on Checkmate, and then Control on Raid, which is one of my favorite maps. I know Raid is one of your favorite maps.
Yes,
too,
sir,
Skep.
you do. Yep.
Let's look at first though the hard point in Moscow, right? What do you see as the challenges that these students are going to face as they go onto this map right here, knowing that this is right hard point specifically on Moscow?
For sure. I mean, well, one thing that comes to mind when I think of Moscow is just how many little head glitch angles and, I mean, areas that you can be posted up, holding areas down and locking down, controlling the hard point, anchoring off to the side, and, really controlling these rotations and the spawns is what I'm looking forward to here on Moscow. I mean, I'm excited because it's our first time spectating Moscow for the season here, so it should be a fun little first match we have. Hard point, keeping that action high. I mean, that's what I love the most. We talk about it all the time. Hardpoint domination, those kind of faster paced game modes are what I typically find more enjoyment in playing. So we'll see what Foley CoD Silver have right off the bat. I mean, Hardpoint's my favorite because you get right into it and, fast game mode, lots of rotations, and it's all about that communication, Thunder, like we were talking about earlier.
Well, I mean, and you hit the nail right on the head, man. Like when you and I play together, we pretty much exclusively play like hardpoint domination,
Straight
right?
up.
I mean,
Yep.
that's our favorite thing to play together because like Skip, go, Thunder, go. Just I mean,
Yeah.
it's so good. It's that king of the hill mentality, right? Throw it in there and let's go. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always have fun playing that game mode with you. And it is, it's interesting to see hardpoint. In talking about that, it's a game mode that is tricky, right? And especially tricky in the pros when you are so limited in your weapon loadouts and attachments and things like that, right? I mean, hardpoint can be tough. It can be tricky. Minnesota Rokkr, they were having some trouble with their hardpoint play, and now I don't know if you saw last week, but I mean they have stepped it up huge. Their hardpoints are on point. I mean, Minnesota Rokkr, they just reverse swept Seattle last weekend. What?
Dude,
that was insane.
I know.
I mean, nutty stuff, and they lost I think the first round of the checkpoint. So you can't get much more of a reverse sweep than that. When you go down 2 games and a round and then reverse sweep. I mean, absolutely sick what they've done since they've added Standy to the mix-up.
Yeah, man.
Or to the lineup, rather. Super exciting, And so I'm excited to see how these teams, the high school teams that we're talking about today, Inver Grove, Foley Cod Silver, how they carry themselves into this hardpoint, right? Hardpoint is also one of those it's one of those game modes that it almost it's almost the most heartbreaking or disheartening rather sometimes, right? Because if you're going out, first map is hardpoint. Let's say it's hardpoint on raid, or rather today it's on Moscow. So hardpoint on Moscow, right? And you lose 115 to 250. Where is your headspace at after that, Skep? Like in a format like this, you're the pro, the amateur gamer. Where is your headspace at when you go down really hard in a hard point, and then all of a sudden right after that you got to go into search and destroy where it's a slower pace, and you are all about the mental aspect.
I mean, bouncing back after a loss is never a fun task for, any best of 3 that you're going to find yourself in. When you're on the back foot and the next loss is, that's it, the game's done, the set's going to the other team, and you're walking away with an L at the end of your score. I mean, that's not going to feel good. So obviously the pressure will be on right away, and this first game decides so much. I mean, that's why hardpoint is such a great test right away. It's who's bringing that firepower and, controlling that objective right from the get-go. And it's really going to say a lot, because one team's going to have that mental of, okay, guys, we just did great on hardpoint. We're up 1-0. Now we play controlled, good, well-focused game of search and destroy, and we close out, while the other team's sitting there, geez, man, we just got rolled. Our rotations, we felt lost most of the game because, the communication's not there when you're losing. I mean, it can go any way, but it's easier to get the win on this hard point and open off the series the way you want to. So hopefully both these teams are coming in ready to go, because, I'm expecting lots of firepower, lots of action here on Moscow to get things rolling.
100% correct. 100% correct. That hard point, it's either the kind of great equalizer at the beginning of the matchup, or it is kind of a great momentum builder for one team.
Straight up.
And so that, when we get into the maps, the teams are getting organized right now, and we will be getting in shortly, but that is going to factor in 100%, right? You go down really hard in a hard point, and then all of a sudden, okay, what happened to your comms? Can you as a team bring it all back together, take a deep breath, calm down, and say, no, we got to go into search and destroy, and we got to have some serious strat, right? We have to have something effective, and we have to put it together now and in the moment, and so coming off of a loss in a hard point like that, it can be difficult. It really can be. We're just waiting on one player here, folks, so thank you for sticking with us. We're just going to chat some Call of Duty because, hey, we love Call of Duty, right? I mean, you and I have been playing a ton of it. And so, again, back to, we go hardpoint, and then after that, we go search and destroy on Checkmate.
Yes,
Your
sir.
thoughts about that combo of a search and destroy on Checkmate?
Checkmate's an interesting map because, we played it last week in our little show match that we had on stream. However, we were playing hardpoint, so a lot more rotation-y based. We already went through explaining what hardpoint was, so I will save us the time of doing that again. But we both know that Checkmate brings a lot of those longer ranges into the obstacle. There's a lot of versatility on high ground, low ground, being on top of the plane, in the mix. working the outskirts. There comes a lot of options when it comes to search and destroy on Checkmate, and I'm excited to see what these kids are going to bring to the table because, I mean, I will not be surprised if we're seeing a little bit of the lawbreaker, sniper on one end, submachine gun on the other, like
Yeah.
you've talked about in the past. I mean, that's a map that I think would suit it greatly. In fact, I mean, I was trying to do that on the hard point, maybe not the game mode to be doing that on. Sniper, not really your best weapon for hardpoint, guys. So don't come following in my footsteps on that one. Save it for search and destroy, which is what I'm suggesting for tonight. But I mean, we'll see when we get there. We saw snipers on week 1 when we got to search and destroy on raid. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same tonight.
Yep. Yep. This being your normal Call of Duty League rules as opposed to the Pro League rules, right? These students can be using things like sniper rifles and some of the assault rifles that are normally banned, things like that. We saw a couple of sniper rifles in our first stream, and it's hard. It's hard because it really depends on your matchup, and it really depends on how well the teams are organized. Because honestly speaking, when you have two well-organized teams, they are gonna kind of lean away from snipers, right? Unless, of course, like you said, you're on a map like Checkmate, right? When it's all open space. Whereas you on a map like Moscow, you have more limited areas where it's big open space, right?
Yeah.
The street along the side in between the buses and that. Those are some longer range stuff, but other than that,
Most of it is
there's a
tight
lot of
space.
different stuff that's blocking, right? So it makes more sense when you are gathering and putting together a team. It makes more sense to have the AR SMG combos because it's going to be tighter combat, right?
Sure.
I mean, in some of the pro games that I have been watching, and also the going back to week 1, if you have the right set of attachments and you have the SMG in the right player's hands, you can shoot from some incredible distances. It's really insane. Like some of these players with the AK-74U are throwing down shots that they're not sniper range certainly, but
Yeah, assault rifle range.
their
Sure.
XM4, their Krig, their QBZ, all of they're that range, right? They're very impressive shots. And some of these players are doing them no scope, right? Not no scope, but no attached reticle, right? Or scope and that. So it's just super impressive to see. And then we move on to talking about maps that have kind of tighter spaces, tighter angles, and that raid is going to be the third map, right? So this being all of our series being best of 5, right? So we will see this control go to raid, and raid being one where really just on the side where the Tiki is, you have some long range shots on the other side, but aren't you a little bit better served doing an AR with the right attachments as opposed to a sniper? What are your thoughts when you're looking at a map like Raid?
Well, personally, I've always been an assault rifle mainly kind of guy. I'd always kind of opt towards the AR route of things. I have done a little bit of submachine gun / sniping on raid, but mostly found success using assault rifle as my primary weapon.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's room for both,
Right. I kind of switched from tac rifles to ARs to SMGs now. My play style has ever kind of changed and all of that. And one thing, you and I in the COD that we've been playing, you remember the number of times I've complained about the MP5? The number of times I've just like dumped on the MP5 and said it's worthless and there's why would it even exist? All of those times, right? I use it now. I totally use it now. I do because it's about the attachments. It's about finding your right loadout. It's about that. You know what I mean? I hated it because I was trying to add on too much and I was trying to do too much with it. But when you simplify it down and you use, as you level up in this game, that's when you get more and more attachments and you get bigger and badder attachments, that sort of thing. But as you start playing based on the CDL rules, right, and you start factoring some of those things, and then you start kind of tapering back and using a mix of attachments from early in the leveling of the weapon and late, or a lot of stuff from early on, where you don't have many negative qualities of the attachment, but you do have a lot of positives. Some of those weapons really just snap. And they do. They, all you need is 5 attachments. You don't need to go gunfighter, which is normally my preferred loadout or my preferred perk. You don't have to on some of those, and that's comforting to me. I mean, all of a sudden, I'm using an MP5 that I like, and it's only got 5 things on it, right? I mean, my M16 has 8 things on it. Everything else, right? So it's exciting as we play, and as you and I play together, and finding different loadouts that work and finding what works, right? It's just so much fun. So much fun. I love this game. I love it so
dude,
so
I've had a
much.
ton of fun
What's your
too.
loadout that you're using right now? Since we're still waiting on one player to join, what is your preferred loadout right now? 100% your go-to right now.
Okay, well, I mean, I played 3 or 4 games today, and I'd say majority used gun was either my AK-47 class, which I run gunfighter on. I mean, it's completely decked out from the barrel to the reticle to the grips
Oh
to
yeah.
I mean, you name it, I got it on that AK.
You ever switch in the thermal?
Dude, I've not tried thermal scope
It's so
this
freaky.
Call of Duty, honestly.
It's
I know it
so
is, Thunder.
freaky on
Listen,
the AK. Oh,
yeah,
it's just nasty.
I know thermal changes the game. It sure
Yep.
does. But so AK class, or I mean, I'm not kidding, and I said it last week too, but the little poison dart LC10.
Yeah.
Thing's nuts, man. It's so good.
When we played last week, I came out with a victory, but it was a pretty hard carry by Dostato and those other players that I was playing with. So big ups to them, and thank you for the hard carry last week. I appreciate it. It was not my best showing on the maps, which is okay. But yes, at that point, you and I talked about the poison dart, which comes from the end of the battle pass, and I got it going. I used it just as is for a couple of games, and then all I had to do was adjust 1 or 2 attachments, and it really kind of came alive. And I think honestly, that's still what I have set up for my LC10 loadout. And now it is, I think I have my LC10 is decked out a gunfighter and everything.
Nice. Same. I got gunfighter on my poison dart as well.
That thing, when you get it dialed in, I mean, it took a while. It took a while for me to adjust just 1 attachment at a time, getting things focused and whatever. But now, I mean, that thing, it runs like an SMG, and it fires like a Krig. Like it's great. It's like the range I'm not disappointed with at all. The speed is there, all of that. Now that I can move around so much faster with the SMGs, that's a big thing for me. I love it so much. So it's great. That's what I've been primarily using lately. I like using that LC10. What else have I been up to? I've been trying to level my sniper rifles, which is going not great. But you know how I am with sniper rifles. My aim is just this nonsense at this point. It's getting better, much better as we go along. Making it happen. Guys, we are waiting just on one player, I think it seems still. So thank you for hanging tight with us. Thank you for hanging out. We're talking Call of Duty at this point, doing the thing, whatever. Hey, do you play, since we're waiting, do you play Call of Duty Mobile?
I used to. I've not played the most recent Call of Duty Mobile, and I haven't had it installed on my phone for a while, so I could not say I played recently.
I've been jamming a bunch on it. It's so good. And I was telling you before, I just got the attachment so that my phone sits above my controller like this. Yeah, it's that good. It's so good. Big time nerd stuff. I love it. Oh, so good. Yeah, awesome, guys.
Stuff. That's next level.
Love Call of Duty. Can't get enough of it. There we go. There in the chat. If you are not following MNVL, you should be. If you are not following the Minnesota Rokkr, you absolutely should be. I mean, they're playing some of the most exciting Call of Duty in the entire league right now, right? Atlanta FaZe is showing, by the way. They're showing their weaknesses, and Dallas is not looking like super tight. Optic, I don't know if anybody saw, but you should definitely go to YouTube and watch that VOD of the Rokkr 3-0ing Optic, and the looks on some some of those faces, both on the winning team and on the losing team. Really amazing. Really and just fun to watch. It's Rokkr Call of Duty is for sure some of the most exciting to watch, if not the most exciting to watch in COD League right now. That's insane. What I'm saying. It's insane, dude. Yeah, I can't get enough of it. I can't. It's been so much fun to watch. They're just firing on all cylinders right now. A couple of adjustments. couple of adjustments is all it takes. You know what I mean? And you know, that making that point in esports and in what we have, you know, at MNVL, right? We saw that sort of Cinderella story in Farmington in Rocket League last year, right? I know we're on the Call of Duty stream, but just a story about a team that that had a losing season, right? In the entirety of the season, when you factor in the record, it was a losing record at the end of the year. But what did they do? They went in the state tournament and they get fourth, right? Or no, they got third. They got third.
Farmington,
yeah, they beat SJP, I think it was.
Third,
anyway,
yep, correct.
The point is with these esports, and it's exciting to see now that we have Call of Duty as one of our leagues, right? Presented, you know, I mean, the Rokkr League is something that we're presenting through MNVL, and it's an exciting opportunity for our students. I can't wait. I can't wait until, you know, 3-4 weeks from now when I can go back and watch through the VODs and watch through these teams improving and watch through what they do. I mean, like, listen, man, as much as I like being on camera, the reason I love being a caster is I get to watch impressive students and players do impressive stuff.
Yeah, man.
it's amazing, right? I'm just sitting here watching, man, you know, I wish I could do that. Isn't that the reason we watch any stream? Like, isn't that the reason I watch any Call of Duty or Valorant or anything like that? It's like, wow, that's impressive. I wish I could do that. Well, I get to do it every day. It's my job.
Yeah, it's part of the draw, I'd say.
Right?
For sure.
It's so good. So good. So good, guys. Looks like we are just still waiting on a player. We may why don't we do this? We're going to take just a real quick break here, guys. If we can, we'll just take a couple of moments, get in touch with production and find out what's going on with the students and that type of thing. We'll be back in just a brief moment, let you know what's happening. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we are at it, folks. We had to just get a couple of things dialed in, and now we're rolling. Here we go. It's Moscow. It's CDL Hardpoint. This is the Minnesota Rokkr High School Call of Duty League presented by MNVL, and we are getting it popping right now. Skep, I'm so excited. Everybody's getting connected. Everybody's getting in. You know, some of these players, as we were talking about pre-game, some of these players definitely had the hard carry for me. In our matchup last week where Team Thunder did take the win, but I played next to no part in it. You know what I mean? I was there. I was doing things.
Yeah,
but not anything like these players are about to do right here. Let's go. Let's get it.
Putting up some record numbers is what the Sato is doing in that game, I'll tell you. Getting things kicking off right away with Invergrove, jumping onto this hard point and surely getting that first secure. Point ticker starting to get up right away. We're going to see how fully CoD Silver reacts trying to get to this point, because so far from what we've seen from Invergrove's hard point is a very, very well-oiled machine when it comes to Hardpoint Thunder. How they space as a team, position-wise on the mini-map, and just what they're scoped in at and what they're controlling.
Yeah, they're 100% dialed. I mean, it's so focused. It's so stout. You know, the way they set up their defense and the way that they hold. You know, every angle covered. You know, nothing left to chance. Oh, but somebody goes down. Oh!
Levon gets dropped here. Maybe an opening for fully CoD Silver. Finally getting onto that hard point, getting a couple points while they can. But that next hard point switching over, and surely Invergrove has that rotation, and the scoreboard is picking points up right now. Invergrove putting in that work.
Yep, putting in the work not only on the hard point, but as you said, on the rotation, on the transition to the next hard point. They're doing it right. They are. They're putting people in position to guard the next hard point, in fact.
Yep, Neb's got a great spot here up in the office room, holding holding down the street, and I mean, Fully COD Silver's having a hard time pushing up the street right now. Jorgen's been stuck behind this truck for a good 30 seconds now. I mean,
he sure has. Yeah, can't make anything happen with Nev up there.
Yeah, holding down the zone, and I mean, this is what we saw 2 weeks ago, rather, from Inver Grove.
Yep.
Such good rotations right on this hard point.
Watching it right here, Dostado, there were 12 or 15 seconds left on that hard point, and there's Dostado moving, hauling across the map, making sure that they get there and they start the count as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Inver Grove doing a great job so far. Fully COD Silver having a hard time breaching this site. Inver Grove's just locking everything down right now.
Oh, yeah, they are absolutely brutal in their defense, holding down every angle. As we talked to them about before, I mean, their comms are great, and they are really, really, really fighting right now.
Yeah, maybe it's just a little bit of lack of team play from the Fully COD Silver side. You know, not getting these trade kills is really what it's coming down to, or the trade eliminations, rather. I mean, we're just seeing time and time again, if you look at the kill feed on the left-hand side of the screen, all we're seeing is purple on blue, you know?
Yep.
It's just purple getting 1 or 2, and then blue's having to hold off on the push.
Yeah, so Inver Grove really showing that they just know what's up. They just, oh, here we go, though. Fully COD Silver, making moves.
Trying to get onto that point. Inver Grove, 2 of them getting dropped there, not realizing where the players of Fully COD Silver actually were. I mean, 2 players behind them there, but getting traded out, and a nice frag from Kolbs there, pushing into the spawn now, trying to cut off rotations. Gonna run into another one here. Kolbs picking up a second frag. This is massive right now. Holding down this area, and you can see Fully COD Silver's trying to find him out here. Playing close. A third one drops, and Kolbs is on a mad one right now.
Kolbs is an absolute freak. We saw it week 1. Still, yet again, absolute freak. I'm saying it. And, I mean, look, you see that AK-74U, you see the attachments, next to no recoil, with that thing just super, super tight. Everybody going down to Kolbs. It's nuts!
Yeah, Kolbs is just on an absolute tear right now. Running around the map. Nobody can take him in an aim duel right now. And, I mean, Fully COD Silver is struggling right now. 195 to 10. I mean, I don't know, Brendan. This is looking like trouble.
Yep.
Oh, look at the elim coming out, though. Right?
With the finishing move, with the just nasty finishing move. Hey, if you can pull off something like that, keep it rolling, keep it going, because right now this is just a super dominating performance by Inver Grove. So right now, Fully COD Silver kind of got to regroup, keep the spirits up, and know going into this next Search and Destroy that they got a little bit of work to do. This is, I mean, they can definitely turn it around, but it's going to take one heck of an effort as we see Kolbs already moving to that next upper point.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I'm thinking it might be too tall of a task to order here. This has been absolute domination from Inver Grove so far here on this hard point. I mean, the rotations have been stellar. The positioning has been just perfect, and you can see Fully COD Silver's had a hard time making these rotations happen so far.
Right.
And having the ability to close out right here in Inver Grove, just got to man this hard point and get those points. Right now, not even on the hard point, though, just letting the clock run. Finally, Dostado's going to keep that ticker moving. Moving up the statue here. Drops Jorgensen. Looking for a second. No follow-up peaks from Fully COD Silver. Going for a rotation. No players to find just yet.
Right. Wow, Inver Grove.
That's a great frag there. Defending the side. 2 points left to close it out here.
Goes. Oh!
And they're going to let it go to another hard point, I guess. Not going to close it out just yet, giving Fully COD Silver, I guess, a second chance here. We'll see. Definitely had the ability to close out right there, though, Thunder. I'm just going to put that one out there.
Yep, they did. And now at this point, Fully COD Silver getting the ticker going. They are going to have to make a massive effort here. not out of the question, but very, very, very gonna be
Difficult
very hard to
task.
do. Yep. Definitely, as Invergrove just, I mean, again, on their rotations, on their moves. There we go with the dub. Absolutely taking control. Invergrove, we saw it week 1. We saw it. Freakish stuff. Look at this. Tostado. Wild.
Tostado AK-74U was just an absolute terror alongside Coles. I mean, really leading the way for this Invergrove team.
They're on the best play, picks up somebody else's Krig, as far as I could see, and then with a melee elimination there at the end, absolutely gnarly. That was stellar. Invergrove showing why they are undefeated at this point. I mean, their rotations were nuts, you know, as we saw week 1, right? They just know. They know they're setting up their defenses. They set up everything so it's already in motion. It's already in motion before the end of that hard point, right? Really stellar stuff. Really, really impressive stuff. Your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Overall, we've talked about it time and time again. The communication seems to be there for this Invergrove team, and telling you, just looking at the mini map and seeing how they position as a team, I mean, you can tell the communication's there and it's clean because the way these guys are rotating, they're just taking the ability of playing the game away from the other team. I mean, Fully CoD Silver was having a hard time even getting going on that map there, and I mean, it really just shows how dominant this Invergrove team has been so far. I mean, frankly, looking for a challenge as of right now. Because Fully CoD Silver was having a hard time that game, or that round, rather.
They were, you know, I mean, but it's always going to be tough when you're going up a player like Tostado who uses that AK-74U like it's an AK-47 and is able to. I mean, that's impressive stuff, and that's hard stuff to defend against. It really is. It's at the end of the day, somebody like that is going to be an X factor. Right, they just are, and as we see, this team is really, really, really stacked. They are very, very, very.
Oh yeah.
I think that going into a search and destroy this next round, I think Fully CoD Silver is. I think this is a good place for them to reset. Right. Okay. Slower paced game mode, all of that. Get into things and really just kind of get a feel for it with your team again. But you can't get outpaced by Invergrove. You can't, right? Because they will outpace you. They will run in and they will run in and roll in and run and gun you. That's how it's going to work. They're very accurate. They're very precise. And their comms are on. So it's going to take a serious effort to get this dialed in and get it rolling.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what they can bring. Fully CoD Blue, if we remember when they played against Invergrove back in week 1. Overall, I think they only got 1 round in the search and destroy set, and it was a clean 5-0 or 4-0 rather in terms of the kills in the round. But we'll see how they can adapt to this Invergrove search and destroy setup because, I mean, frankly, what we saw in week 1 Thunder is as soon as Invergrove would find that opening pick or that opening frag, it seemed that Fully CoD Blue's team would just kind of fall apart rather quickly. And Invergrove is just too quick on these rotations and pushing that pressure and, I mean, forcing mistakes. So we'll see what they bring to the table. But I'm assuming that fast play will continue, Thunder.
Yep, I totally agree. Totally agree.
Especially after how map 1 went. I mean, to say that their confidence isn't on a high right now would be ridiculous. Instantly jumping up on this plane and taking a name battle right away. Almost dropping a member of Fully CoD Silver right off the get-go. Trying to flank around, but 2 members drop Fully CoD Silver. We got a 4-on-2 situation here. Make it a 4-on-1, and just like that, round 1 is in the bag for Invergrove.
Yep, absolutely. Wow.
Yeah, that's like what I'm saying. Yeah, really. Start to just getting into common, what's going down, double kill into the next 2 members cleaned up because it's just teammates playing off of each other, working together, and closing out. And it's simple stuff, but it's just great team play is what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Yeah, Invergrove, they are a step ahead. They really are. I mean, it just, at the end of the day, they're such a cohesive. It's stunning. It really is. We got Kolb's eliminated here. Let's see if Fully Caught Silver.
Yeah,
can
we'll
make something of
see
it.
what Sprite 7-Up's up to underneath the plane here, trying to find one of these Inver Grove members. Must hear him in the plane here. Oh, getting shot at, not quick enough on the reaction, and that's Inver Grove going up 2-0 so far. Off to a good start, Thunder. This is looking like, I mean, the same Inver Grove we were seeing back in week 1. And this might be looking like one of our top threats here in the Minnesota Rokkr High School Call of Duty League.
Yep. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, and each and every one of these guys is playing their position and doing their job on their team. I mean, you know, you can't have only star players when it comes down to this Inver Grove roster. You got guys playing their part and making sure others are able to succeed, and they got it down to a T so far. There's a great opening there comes in for Destado. Make it 2 as he doubles down before he goes 3-on-2 situation here. And Inver Grove trying to close out. Kolb's going aggressive, gets 1, 3-on-1 now, just Jorgensen remaining. Playing to the outside, but Kolb's cleans it up like nobody's business, and we got ourselves a 3-0 lead here for Inver Grove. And I mean, look at this, 2-piece after 2-piece from Destado, and then Kolb's cleaning up here at the end. Excellent stuff. No recoil on that AK-74U. Don't even worry about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, this is a spooky, spooky team we have here on Inver Grove. See how we kick off now. Inver Grove on attack. Bomb's heading towards the middle of the plane. Trying to push onto this B site. Kolb's the bomb carrier. Nice opener for Neb. And once again, I mean, when are we seeing Inver Grove playing from behind? It's almost never.
Yeah, they just, I mean, again,
it's a one-on, yep.
Yeah. You can just tell how practiced they are. You can tell just exactly how well put together their team is. All of that. I mean, they are a force to be reckoned with. Man, that's it. That's it. Mm-hmm. And they're insane.
Look at how quickly the team gets mopped up. Like, I kid you not. It's the round is close until the 5 seconds of their team all dying within, you know, the 5 seconds of each other, because it's how quick this Inver Grove team is rotating once they drop one member on the other team. I mean, yeah, it's freakish reactions and teamwork that we're seeing, and it hasn't been matched yet. So we'll see what Fully CoD Silver can do to turn it around a little bit. But Inver Grove already complete plane control here. Coming out onto the plane wing, and Sprite gets 1, but gets dropped in another 3-on-1 situation. And we'll see what Lombard is able to do here. Liban up on the plane wing here, about to step out, but it's too little too late. Lombard goes down, and it's 5-0 Inver Grove. One more round to close out the series and move to 3-0 Thunder.
Yep.
And frankly, I mean, they've been making it look easy so far. We haven't even seen this team really be tested for my money's worth. I mean, we'd have to see how week 2 games went, since we unfortunately weren't able to cast those last week. But I gotta say, this Inver Grove team is really going to be putting up statement games like this. I mean, teams are going to have to start studying these VODs and seeing what's up. 3 members climbing up in the guard tower here. Maybe messing around, seeing if they can find somebody peeking where they shouldn't be. Okay, mistakes were made, pulling the pin and forgetting to get rid of the nade. That'll cost Fully CoD Silver their first player in a 4-on-3 situation now.
Oof, is this it? This will be for all marbles.
Yup, that's another one dropping. 4-on-2, 4-on-1, and I mean, Inver Grove is it just on a new level right now. Jorgensen doing what he can. 3-on-1 to keep the game alive. Trying to rotate around, but it's not to be. Inver Grove cleans house. A clean 6-0 in game 2. And I mean, Thunder, look at this. Look at Liban. No fear. Pushing through the plane, getting 1, getting that second one, and I mean, almost picking up a three-piece to close out. Inver Grove just making it look easy.
Really? I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's it. Making it look so easy. Super impressive stuff from them. You know, fully CoD Silver, some work to do, right? Obviously, they can take this VOD, they can take their experience today and kind of, you know, learn from it, figure out some things from it, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, Inver Grove going up 3-zip. You know, they're 3-0 in the season. Just insane, really. You know, they're putting together great work. And you can tell that they're growing. You can tell that they're just getting better, right? That hard point, that first hard point was a standout performance. It really was, right? And so as we move through this season, and as we move towards the state tournament, right, this spring, going to be really fun to watch. Going to be super fun to watch. Just got the note we're going to be interviewing Dostado here in a few. So super excited for that. As soon as we get Dostado in, then we'll be interviewing. We'll be interviewing him and getting things rolling. So, Skep, your thoughts on, I mean, at the end of the day, what do you think is something that fully CoD Silver can maybe improve upon, maybe do a little bit better way? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, to get things started, it's going to have to come down to just playing and getting into the swing of things a little quicker. I mean, a lot of times what I was seeing on just looking at the mini map, I mean, it seemed like fully CoD Silver was kind of timid at times. I mean, not fully sprinting on these rotates, maybe taking their time, a little bit nervous because I mean, and frankly, that's what's going to happen when the score is that high of a difference. You know, you can't really be playing with confidence if your team's just in such a deep hole and it's getting harder and harder to kind of climb back. And, you know, frankly, it's just going to be working together, working with your team. And I mean, trying to build this because at the end of the day, Thunder, Hardpoint is a super team heavy game mode. I mean, you know, the amount of communication that's required, what angles you're going to be watching, and how you're playing off, you know, your teammates back. What do you have your teammates back? You know, are you protecting his weak side? And I mean, you know, we saw Inver Grove just doing that on a level that fully CoD Silver could not match. So
yeah,
that's why we had such a big score gap.
Yep, it was super, super impressive stuff. What we're going to do right now, we are just waiting on the interview, so we'll go to a very, very brief break. And as soon as we come back, we're going to be here chatting with Dostado. We got some questions about what they've done so far and what they have